I believe शुरू में जो भी म्यूजिक सीखना चाहता है ना, वो पहले 2-3 हफ्ते में ही मार खा जाता है, and they're like यार अब मुझसे नहीं हो सकता. But if you can just soldier on and do it for 3 to 4 weeks, you'll start to play songs, and when you do that, you start getting motivated and you want to learn more songs, and that's how you become better.
What's going on, everybody? Asad Hashamali back again with another episode of In the Times. Why In the Times? Because these times are new, unprecedented, and frankly have left all of us completely boggled. Even though it may feel like the entire world has come to a standstill, there is so much to talk about in these times and much to learn from. In a nutshell, it's Cedar's tiny way to start a small conversation about big things ahead. In this episode, we have Mr. Ali Qazi, the Chief Operating Officer of Cedar College and one of the founding members, actually, one of the founding team members of Cedar College itself. Me and him were there together along with Ms. Fatma, Ms. Zofsha Hassan, and a few others back in 2015. Ali Qazi was actually there from 2014 behind the scenes helping set up a lot of what the college is today. He's not just worked in setting up the finance department, the tech department, but he's also a faculty member over there, and he teaches business studies at the college. I've known Ali Qazi for quite a while now, and if I know one thing about him is that he is in love with music. You give him a guitar, a drum set, a piano, a keyboard, anything at all, he will figure it out and he will learn every single chord, every single rhythm, beat, anything that he can come up with. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation because we've got a lot to talk about with him. We're talking not just about his passion for music, we're not just talking about what students are actually going through at this time, but also about what the summer workshops are like. And for all of those who aren't at Cedar College, this conversation might help you in actually exploring some new avenues, some new interests, some new passions overall, just so that you could spend your time a little better, being a little more productive and on your feet during this time of the lockdown. This episode is produced by BackSpace. If you have any questions, feel free to send in a voice note to me at asad.hashamali@cedar.edu.pk. That's asad.hashamali at cedar, that's cedar.edu.pk. And if you have any suggestions for the next episode, well, we've got quite a few planned out already. But if you have any suggestions, if there's any topic you'd like for us to touch, feel free to drop me an email again at the same email address. You'll find that in the description. And here it is, episode number 3 of In the Times with Cedar College, produced by BackSpace, hosted by me, Asad Hashamali. And our guest for today, Mr. Ali Qazi. What's up, Ali? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Asad?
Not too bad. I think we're all in the same boat now. And the typical cliche questions keep going around. How are you dealing with the COVID-19 and the lockdown?
When did you get your groceries? Where did you get it from?
Yeah. You know, it's
How long was the line?
How long was the line? Were you maintaining distance? It sucks that how now all conversations actually start off with this, you know?
Yeah. I know it's like Pele. We used to talk about the person. Now we're always talking about the halat and how things are happening and how those things are affecting the people. So yeah, the whole perspective has changed. Like I think life as we know it for some time has changed.
I was actually on a phone call with a buddy of mine, and we were talking about like work, and he's a digital advertiser. And he's like, yeah, but chal raha hai. I said, I guess this is the new normal, you know, which we were always wondering. But chal raha hai sab. You don't know what's going. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So aaj sahi hai. Yeah. But so Ali, how have you been? How have you been coping with this situation? Actually.
Well, to be honest, I'll start with one of my things that I always do. Like I follow memes a lot. I know it's very A-level-ish, but I know I really love it. So I started reading the memes and all the news about COVID-19 like early January, because when the outbreak started in Wuhan, they started posting these random memes, and from there I could sense that things are becoming a little out of control. Slowly, a lot of cases started emerging in Wuhan, and then I think South Korea got it, or like I think Japan or Vietnam got it, and I was just going through it, and for some odd reason, I think a lot of people also were thinking like that before as well. Like you seem like ये तो but it won't hit me. Like it's not gonna come to me. Like because
Yeah.
usse pehle we were thinking about SARS, then MERS. Like हमें तो नहीं हुआ. Like I never know anywhere. Like I don't see Pakistan getting it. Like this is that mindset. And
Yeah.
suddenly, when we, I think it was 26th of Feb, we got the first case, and I was like, all right, we got a case. Let's see what happens. and,
And we couldn't
and
believe
we,
it. Also, at that
we,
point, we're like, it's
yeah,
what's the worst that can
suddenly,
happen?
what's the worst that could happen? Well, there you go. Like it was right on my face. So,
Yeah.
like I was up to date, but to be honest, it's not just knowing things; it's also understanding them. It's to being able to grasp it and see कि यार what effect will it have on life. So that element we did not foresee, and a lot of people did not understand that. They knew कि यार हो रही है कोई चीज, but like will it affect me? Well, now everybody knows.
Yeah. And it blew up also, like I think it caught all of us by surprise. Schools were closed from 27th Feb onwards, with the forecast that it would open up in a few weeks, right?
Yeah,
And
I think they were closed by the 1st of March, and they said that it'll open on the 15th of March. But then after weekend, I think 11th of March was when they declared it as a pandemic. I think
Mhm,
and the cases grew quite substantially in Pakistan as well, and that's when
mhm,
they said that we're going to open on the 1st of June.
yeah.
Now I believe it's for 15th of July, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm. It'd be funny that if they didn't announce it as a pandemic, then you wonder, would the cases rise this fast? But that's also just a very sad joke and a very sad thought.
I know it's a little dark, or dark. Okay.
A little dark, yeah. That's how we do it in the times. We're in dark times. We gotta stick to these jokes. No, but so Ali, you and I have been in close communication actually since all of this went down in terms of trying
Even
to
before. ऐसी
even
बात कर
before.
रहे हैं.
No, in terms of like in terms of work, right? Like in terms of
Oh
digitizing
yes.
the school. You and I have been together since 2015, right? So uh,
Oh yes.
that yeah, but in terms of in the recent past, in terms of digitizing the school and trying to transform any systems that you guys had and trying to make sure that we're communicating also, what do you feel were some challenges students actually faced in coping with all of this?
Okay, so if you're talking about the students' perspective, I felt that initially students were like, okay, as I said, like whatever my mindset, or most people had the same mindset, it's not going to last that much. So the first phase of going online for us, like I believe we were all schools were supposed to be closed by the 1st to 2nd of March, and I think by the 3rd or the 4th, we started classes online. I believe the first few weeks they were just thinking कि ये तो एक हफ्ते की बात है, we'll go back to normal, and
Mhm.
then वो mocks में भी delay हो जाएंगे, and then people are playing all these scenarios out in their brain. uh, अच्छा mocks 2 हफ्ते आगे हो जाएंगे, then we'll have these classes, and then exams इस तरह होंगे and all that stuff. But suddenly like 10 days later they realized, okay, we might not have any physical classes. So students started taking it very seriously, I believe a week or two into the online classes. Then of course the mastia starts, and then these guys try to find ways around it. Maybe on take start the class and not take it. But then, like I felt, students realized it was also not, and it wasn't binary. That one day they realized, okay, this is how we're going to study for some time. It was a slow realization, and teacher. I felt when teachers started realizing that it's going to be like this, that's when they started imparting the same knowledge to the kids. Then the kids started taking it seriously as well. Then we
Mhm.
had a full on schedule, all the classes. We changed the timings for the students for, because they wouldn't wake up earlier. Then we
Mhm.
thought, all right, we might as well just delay all the classes, because since there's no physical presence, there's no point in starting classes at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And so we took these small steps for the student to get comfortable, and they eventually got really comfortable. Like I think initially only I sent in a survey, and only 60 to 65% of the people understood what's happening online, and that
Mhm.
number grew up to like 85-90%. We still have around 10% students who still think they couldn't really grasp what's going on, but like that percentage is reducing day by day, and
Mm-hmm.
up because we know that another 2.5 months it's not going to open. People are getting Students are adapting to it more. Like I've seen students going from their mobiles now, because I see which device they're using, right? So
Yeah.
before they were using their cell phones and their tablets. Now they're on they're on their computers. They want to sit upright because when you're looking at something in the cell phone, you can just go in any position, and that might not be the best position for you to study and
Yeah.
like use your brain.
They're becoming a
So
lot more
students,
aware to be more productive and optimize that
bilkul.
time.
So I would, bilkul exactly. So I would say that first our admin and teachers change their whole attitude on how this is going to be like. This was all a passage within a passage of like 10 days, and then because of that, students started understanding the same thing, and they started taking it very seriously. Things started becoming more serious online. We'd have like chatting was happening. People couldn't understand. They would write the question, the teacher would answer. Teachers started getting more better equipment as well. किसी का mic अच्छा नहीं था, disturbance आ रही है, they would buy a new mic. Somebody bought a new camera. Somebody bought lights. Somebody got the iPad. I remember Cedar got like so many iPads for teachers who didn't have it or who weren't comfortable using a computer, because a lot of subjects can that you need to scribble, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of quant subjects, or maybe if you're giving a presentation, you need to use a pointer, you need to explain it. So we got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Apple Pencils, the iPads, we distributed it to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was, I think, the month of March, the first 3 weeks of March
Mm-hmm.
were like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Every There were different emotions. People are adapting. I'm not talking about just students. Like I know I've taken your
No,
question and
no.
like called admin and teachers as well, but I feel
Yeah.
like they're so connected. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
better
Because
to
it's a reflection,
talk.
right? It's a reflection. Like I think that the way you being a leader of the school, also how you are perceiving the situation will automatically reflect onto the team, right? And then they are on the front line of the school, and they're the ones
बिल्कुल
with the
बिल्कुल
kids, right?
Exactly. So like you've been with us for so long, and we've been working for so long, and you
Yeah.
remember Shuru say it was Sir Bilal, you, myself, who were very like very 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 much into online tech
Yeah.
and ed tech. हमें different elements try करना है, SIS try करना है, do this, do that. How can we use this app to teach? How can we use that app? So I think all of that knowledge, we
Mm-hmm.
whenever we tried to impart that, people never really, like, half of them took it seriously, half of them were like, okay sir, सुन लेते हैं, आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. So
Mm-hmm.
effectiveness चली गई थी. But now
Yeah.
suddenly, like, since this becomes like the norm and this is the need of the hour,
Mm-hmm.
I also felt like I felt happy because well, मतलब happy नहीं बोलना चाहिए, because it was at an expense. It was a big expense. Like it was on a pandemic that it had to be like
Yeah.
this. But in any case, when it did, I was really happy because people started learning a lot of tech.
Yeah.
And I remember the first week we called the teachers and admin to train them,
Mm-hmm.
and I tried to go through Zoom and how to use the iPad, how to use the apps, how to record, how to make your lectures and then send it to the kids, how to use Google Classroom, all that stuff, teacher by teacher. And it was a lot of effort, but I really enjoyed it because I know that for every teacher that I kind of help out, I'm
Mm-hmm.
also helping out like 50 100 students.
Yeah.
So the impact that it creates is, I think, more than anything, that उससे बड़ा एक self satisfaction आती है,
Yeah.
because like something that you wanted to happen like for the past 5 years finally did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was
Eh,
because
eh,
of a pandemic
in quite
again.
a horrible way, but it
Uh,
happened nonetheless.
yeah, but I'm not happy about that fact.
Mm-hmm.
If I had it my way, I would get the same thing in another way. But the fact that it did has taught a lot of people a lot of things. Like अब
Mm-hmm.
मुझे पता है, a lot of teachers, even inshallah, when everything goes back to normal, like let's say a few months later, these teachers will still use this tech because the
Mm-hmm.
knowledge is still there. They'll use
Yeah.
this tech to like maybe supplement their teaching,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just a beautiful thing. And then after this, you remember we also put a post that we'd help other schools out as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was really happy that a bunch of schools approached us. A few universities did too, We did some seminars there. We helped a
Mhm.
lot of other teachers as well, including private tutors as well. So
Mhm.
the reason is this because even Umair, myself, Sir Bilal, even you, like we're all for imparting knowledge, and we
Mhm.
want people to be enabled because
Yeah.
हमारा काम तो पढ़ाना है, right?
Mhm.
And अगर खुद तो पढ़ा ही रहे हैं, if we can also enable other people to teach well, then it's
Mhm.
just there's always going to be dearth of good teaching in Karachi, right?
Mhm.
So if you enable them, तो at least बच्चों की बेहतरी होगी.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
bilkul.
that was our mindset.
Yeah, and I think it's nice to hear actually, like when you put it in those words also, it's that it's not always about competition. Right now, everyone needs help. Everyone needs to step in. And
बिल्कुल.
that if you have something, if you have a tool, आप क्यों अपने पास रख रहे हो यार? अब जरा घर के आगे भी सोचो, आप और भी लोग हैं. um,
बिल्कुल.
and eventually you'll find some way to, like, benefit from that. But right now I think it's time for this is for me one of the, other than the environmental change which we're all seeing, I think one of the positive net effects of the lockdown is insaniyat. I feel that
Oh yeah.
everyone stepping in, everyone actually contributing. I spoke to someone on the phone a few weeks ago, and he said, "Ki, Asad, if you have," and this is way before Ramzan, right? So this is around like early March, and he said that he's like, if you have any zakat or anything that you were planning to give out, please hand it out now because people need it now more than ever.
बिल्कुल.
This is not a matter of delaying your you just this is not a matter of delaying your compassion or delaying your altruistic intentions in any way. Just put it out there. People need help.
बिल्कुल.
And
बिल्कुल.
you guys in
Similarly,
in education also, people need help. There's not everyone has the capital, not everyone has the tech that they can transform that quickly. But you guys putting yourselves
बिल्कुल.
out there to lead that change, that's truly commendable.
Yeah, so that's and the thing is that I remember a long time ago there was this teacher of mine. He said that he said a beautiful quote that but we were talking about music at that point, but
Mhm.
then I can take the same concept and apply it other ways, other places. Well, what he said was that music is very collaborative, not competitive.
Mhm.
So there is a bridge that you cross that because initially you always feel competitive, like because
Mhm.
we and that's a good thing, that's a good thing to feel competitive because that's what's going to drive you as well. But
Mhm.
suddenly you've realized then you've when you've matured
Mhm.
and when you have achieved some level of success that okay, not everything is competition, right?
Mhm.
There are things you can, I feel like, also achieve things far more if you do a collaborative kind of a framework than a competitive framework. If the mindset of people are is good, then collaborative frameworks will always yield better results.
Mhm.
तो उसने तो म्यूजिक के बारे में बात की थी, बट देन व्हेन यू स्टार्ट थिंकिंग अबाउट इट इन टर्म्स ऑफ एजुकेशन एज वेल, आई फील द सेम वे. Like
Mhm.
rather than लड़ने की जगह, if we just share resources and if we just say कि यार maybe we can do this, maybe we can do that, then that's going to just help out the kid because ये इस competition में नुकसान बच्चे का होता है.
Mhm.
And then what's the point of that in the first place? Like अगर ऐसे ही करना था तो I would start working for a bank, like which I did.
Yeah.
And I'd work in the stock exchange because वहां पे मेरे ख्याल से zero sum game होती है. Like
Mhm.
but क्योंकि किसी का लॉस किसी का फायदा होता है.
Yeah.
यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं है. It's not a zero sum game. We're not playing a game of poker.
Yeah.
It's like there is another stakeholder involved, which is the
Mhm.
biggest stakeholder, I believe, which is the student.
Mhm.
उसका अगर फायदा करना है तो अगर मेरा और दूसरे बंदे की लड़ाई और एक कंपेरेटिवनेस ही चलती रहेगी तो वो
Mhm.
तो बंदा शायद नुकसान में आना आ जाए. बट इफ यू
Mhm.
ऑलवेज वर्क कोलैबोरेटिवली, आई नो दैट the kid will benefit, and if the kid benefits then I'll also benefit
Mhm.
because my results are the kids, right? तो
Mhm.
बच्चों की स्टूडेंट सेंट्रिक अगर if you start thinking about it like that, then things change. I know still some people in some institutes are still not in the same mindset. But then again, you can't change everyone, right? But
Yeah.
you can change them one by one. So
Yeah.
we try our level best.
Yeah.
Abhi bhi, like last week bhi I went to a place like another school. I won't say the name, but
Mhm.
unko we because that school couldn't afford a lot of technology.
Mhm.
But again, itni sari technology available hai jisme shayad maybe you don't need to spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like some things are actually completely free.
Yeah.
So if you could just like I trained them all with all of those tools that they could use. There's
Mhm.
so many tools like Google. There's Microsoft giving these tools and other stuff as well. which they can possibly use. And and I'm so glad to see that they started their classes, well, not in full force, but at least like half of the classes have started. पहले तो zero थी.
Yeah.
So that was very comforting to see. And उस school के बच्चे हमारे पास भी आते हैं. So it's just you know what I mean, right? It's just
yeah. Doing the right thing is always the right
feeling.
thing.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. At least when you go to sleep at night, you sleep like a baby. You're like, okay, I might have made more money, could have made more money, but वो एक अलग बात है. But
Yeah.
but the fact that I made a difference is going to make me, because आप कितना कमाने से ना फायदा इतना नहीं होता जितना eventually आप making a difference से होता है.
बिल्कुल.
ये मेरा personal opinion है. I can be wrong as well.
No, and I'm not going to fight you on that one. I think that's a message that many need to hear also, to be honest, I think. But let's actually move away from this a little bit, and let's come back to you particularly.
Okay.
You mentioned music. So I'm very curious to know, what are you working on lately? Like what are you producing right now? Are you just jamming out and relaxing? What's going on in that world of yours?
So when you talk about me and music now, so it's a weird relationship, because I started playing very early. I think I was like 13, 14 years old. I still remember my parents wouldn't get me a guitar. So and उस वक्त तो इतना online softwares भी नहीं होते थे of music production and all that stuff. That stuff was very expensive. So I remember I said कि यार बकरा ईद में भी और ईद में भी ना, it's a 2.5 month gap. I will save up all the money. And I had a whole plan. So I executed that plan to perfection. I got my first guitar. So then I practiced it for some time. I got good at it. Then I left it because then I started studying. Up university में busy हो गया. 2 years, 3 years into university, I picked it up again. Then played it. Then I got busy. Then I left it. Here, one of my very close friends, he's into electronic music. Then I was like, okay, how do you do this? So like when you play a lot, you get a sense of music. कि किस तरह बजती है, beats क्या होती हैं, notes क्या होते हैं, skills क्या होते हैं. I'm nowhere a professional, but I enjoy it a lot. So I started learning, and फिर electronic music सीख लिया. उससे थोड़ा बहुत keyboard समझ में आ गया. And then you start playing the drums as well. So you get a overall idea of how music is played. So my journey with music is up and down, up and down, up and down. So now, because of COVID-19, of course we're self isolating. So we're quarantined. We're at home all the time, and that gives me a lot of time, because I'm in my room and I have my laptop, my instruments like the keyboard, the guitar, and वो finally खोला मैंने दोबारा से and started practicing. So I practiced for a couple of weeks, and then when I got the hang of it again, well, then my music would be just either random house track or like I'd take an old song and then I'd play that. If Umair and I are talking, then we're definitely doing a parody song for sure, which we've already shared with students as well.
Oh, really?
कुछ ऐसी बात है वो not all of them can be shared, because some of them are just our personal jokes as well, right?
Yeah.
So there's no point. If we send it to them, then they'll be like, ये क्या है? मतलब we don't get the reference. But the ones that are very pertinent to the situation, or which we think that students can relate to, then I share that. I'm doing the IBA test prep, so I plan on doing the last 4-5 minutes, because it's all math, right? So it can be quite a lot for some people who are not very comfortable in math. So what I do is, like, after 50-55 minutes ka session, last 5 minutes will always be mastiyan. And that would be like either a song or an old song. I don't know. So like the last thing that if you're talking about what I'm producing these days, the last 2 songs that I made were I think there was Space Oddity by David Bowie, and then I also covered what's that song's name? Elton John's Your Song, because I don't know, it's just rhythm aa jati na dimag mein. Then you start playing that. Then usse pehle I think Zofsha and I did that cover of
Jab Koi Baat, right?
Jab Koi Baat Bigar Jaye. And then when I was,
this is very nice, by the way. It's pretty cool to see that crossover.
Yeah, that's, by the way, that was the first time we've been married for 2 years.
And that's the first time you guys performed together.
The first time we played together. That's the first time we played
Oh,
together.
wow.
We've never played together, so it was all because our music is very different. She's very much into Eastern classical,
Yeah,
and like I can play it, but I'm not a big fan.
Mhm.
So it's too moody for me. So तो but when we did, I realized कि यार वो बजा रही है जब कोई बात बिगड़ जाए. Then I was like, okay यार, let me just play some chords behind it. When I played it, I was like, यार ये तो बड़ा Beatles का Yesterday से बड़ा similar है. So I was like, let's mash up that song. I know दोनों गाने का थोड़ा gloomy feel है.
Yeah.
So I was just concerned कि बच्चे बोलेंगे यार इतना gloomy इतना sad. But it turned out to be good. So yeah.
No, it's pretty nice also, and I think it's because of you guys also, and we're jamming with you guys back in the days when I also learned about the total difference in like your music preference versus Afsha's music preference also, and it still surprises me. I don't get it. You guys are polar opposites with that, and there was also sorry, continue.
I'm saying it's not just the music; it's the food as well.
Yeah.
It's the music, it's the movies as well. Like we have quite. I will get the opposite track. Maybe that's why.
Cute. So there's also this English version of Jab Koi Baat Bikhar Jaye.
Was it? That is news for me.
No, like it's a very old song, very old song, and I remember Sir Rock actually played it once. I don't know, once, like many times.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't recall it. Maybe I've heard it. मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा. But
and if you remember, Yasser,
send
I will send it. I will. And if you remember, Yasser also showed it to me. I don't remember what it was. Yeah.
By the way, Yasser was a brilliant guitarist.
Yeah. I've seen him and Sir Rock jam together also. So that's always a good show.
I know. But he in my last apartment, he would come. We made a little studio, and he would come, and Rock would come, and we would like play for like a couple of hours, and like we would just be inspired by Yasser because he was so good. It was so better. And हमें लगता था यार we need to practice more to
to be on his level.
Purity complex. But, anyways, like you said, he was very nice. He taught us a few things as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was fun.
So
fun days.
Yeah, I remember those days. I was there for a few of them, but it was fun. What was so Qazi, for all the kids who are now like free at home, schools also off, you guys have the summer workshop going, which by the way, it's pretty far and wide, which I think is really cool. Like from Counter-Strike to fitness to French to IBA test prep, you got all of it, you know. And then you're also teaching. You're not just doing the IBA test prep, but you're also doing the theory of music class, right?
I wouldn't say theory of music. I would say intro to music, and it's not really a class. Like it was more of a discussion. We would talk. We would find a topic. Like let's say Dire Straits की बारे में बात करें, and उसमें the guitarist and the singer is Mark Knopfler, and we spark up that conversation, and everybody brings in their input about it. Like it's a very discussion based. It's like I would never classify that as a class, because in my head a class is where a teacher is imparting knowledge, right? This is more of like a workshop जिसमें हम मिल के बैठ के बात करेंगे, and then there's so much information that the kids bring in as well. Like I've learned so much from the kids too in those workshops. So but that IBA was for the kids, and the music thing is for myself, I would say.
Nice. And so since it's not like particularly it's not instrument oriented, is it?
No, but things tend to become a little technical, because मैं भी music बजाता हूँ और कुछ बच्चे हैं वो भी music बजाते हैं. So that's why we had a huge strength initially, but then in the middle things become technical and a little too much about music, so they kind of lose interest, some students. But the others actually enjoy it a lot, because things become technical and they get to learn a lot. So again, I would want not a huge crowd there, like maybe 20-25 kids who are really interested in it. Because then maza aata na, because then they do their research, they send it, they talk about stuff, they know they're not taking it lightly. So किसी ने Zoom खोल के बैठा हुआ नहीं है. Like I don't like that. फिर आप आई क्यों हो उसके अंदर? मतलब what's the point of it?
Might as well contribute,
contribute. Maybe कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा तो maybe ask कि ये आप क्यों कह रहे हो, ये क्यों कह रहे हो. So like we had a huge strength, but then we only the ones who were very interested remained, and I kind of like it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have that session abhi 5 baje. So let's see.
Okay. So for those who are sitting at home, and unfortunately these workshops are just for the kids at Cedar, what do you think is, or how do you think that a child could actually, just like dive into it? What are some steps that they should keep in mind?
Are you talking with respect to music or
Yeah,
just
with
generally?
respect to music, or like any hobby also. Like music is your passion, and that's something that
Mm.
you spend a lot of time with, right? That's your craft. So any
Yeah.
hobby, what do you think are some? But maybe hobby will be too broad. So let's talk about music in particular. If a kid wants to get into music, wants to learn the guitar, just like you did, what are some steps they should keep in mind?
And if they really want to follow my footsteps, then Eid is
Don't
coming.
turn
So last
around,
year.
get out.
But देखिए पहले I don't know whether you anybody has an instrument at home. If they
Mhm,
do, that is lovely. They it was very different when I was learning because we didn't have like YouTube wasn't really famous. There was not a lot of stuff on YouTube. You couldn't, and the internet wasn't that fast that you could stream lessons. So I literally had to go. Like I would one day meet Rock and I'd be like, यार मुझे ये चीज़ सिखा देंगे कैसे करते हैं, and then I would go watch like online videos. जो online कह रहा हूँ TV पे videos आती हैं, people would be playing guitars and I would see what is that chord, what is that chord, how is he playing that. So
mhm,
it was very different for me, but I know right now it's the easiest thing you can possibly do.
mhm,
If you have an instrument at home, that is great. If you don't, I believe there are still there are still websites which you can use to order and they deliver at home.
mhm,
So you can just or I think you can do an IBFT too. So
mhm,
it's like really contactless. They're going to
mhm,
deliver the instrument, whether it's an guitar or any other. अगर गिटार है तो I would say कि start with a simple Yamaha acoustic guitar. It's not going to cost you more than 15-20,000 rupees,
mhm,
uh, maybe 25. And if it's that's a little steep, then you can go for a cheaper one. That's fine too.
mhm,
If you want to start with a keyboard, I wouldn't suggest to buy an actual keyboard. I would suggest buy a MIDI controller.
mhm,
MIDI controller just acts like a keyboard too. It's just a programmable keyboard, so you can just make it play anything. You can connect it to your iPad, your iPhone, your Mac, and then you can use these different audio softwares and start practicing on that. But music के लिए मेरे ख्याल से start करने के लिए you need more than playing, you need a good ear, because if
mhm,
you can hear well, then you can फिर start developing your own skills. So
mhm,
आप अच्छा गाने सुने, try to deconstruct them, then you take these instruments, go online. YouTube is full of instructional videos about guitars or keyboards or anything like that, and
mhm.
then start just playing it. मतलब it's use those videos जब नहीं समझ में आए. I think यहाँ पे सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन होता है कि आपको शौक क्या है करने का. Like
Yeah.
if you are interested in it ना, the the ways are too there are too many ways to do it. ठीक
Mhm.
है. So अब तो पहले कोई बोलता था यार अब मैं कैसे सीखूं तो समझ में भी आता है, but these days if somebody wants to do something, as long as it's not crazy like you have to go outdoors.
Mhm.
With respect to music, तो you can do it at home. हर
Yeah.
सबके पास कंप्यूटर है, सब ऑर्डर कर सकते हैं घर पे, बजाओ बजाओ बजाओ. And I know it's gonna be difficult initially, but I
Mhm.
believe 3 से 4 हफ्ते के बाद, if you practice every day 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you start to play songs. And it's actually when you start playing full songs, when you realize, okay, यार, I can do this, and that's what creates मोटिवेशन. आई बिलीव शुरू में जो भी म्यूजिक सीखना चाहता है ना, वो पहले 2-3 हफ्ते में ही मार खा जाता है, एंड देयर लाइक यार अब मुझसे नहीं हो सकता. बट इफ यू कैन जस्ट सोल्जर ऑन एंड डू इट फॉर 3 to 4 weeks, you'll start to play songs, and when you do that, you start getting motivated and you want to learn more songs, and that's how you become better.
Yeah.
So आप ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर करो कोई भी इंस्ट्रूमेंट. इफ यू डोंट हैव वन, get it. Go online, go to YouTube, and you can even, if you have a little bit of money, you can even buy the whole course. But I don't think you really need to. There's so many videos online on YouTube. Start watching those videos, start practicing, start watching, start practicing. Give it a month. Hopefully by early mid of June, you'll be good at it, and then you can then like impress your friends or something like that.
Or anyone else who's not even your friend.
Oh, if you want
But
to
you
take it
know,
in that direction.
yeah, this is a little banter. No, but I think Kazi, just to also add into what you're saying. I think that many people ask me this about like just like fitness or CrossFit in general, and my answer is literally just do it. I've explored that music avenue as well before. My parents never let me get a drum set, and it's a true story. Never let me get a drum set. I learned the guitar because I wasn't allowed to get a drum set. I hated the guitar, and instead I used to go for drum classes, and I'd come home and practice on a table with 2 pens, and that was that for me. And then it's like if I cared a lot as much as people in the past have, then I would have gotten that drum set. Then I would have actually been practicing and get really good at it, right? And the same applies to fitness. I think anyone at this point in time who wants to do something, first write down all the excuses that you have that are coming to your mind, and throw that piece of paper away, and then get on to what you really want to do, because you're just going to be your own. You're going to be your own only obstacle in this whole process right now. You have time. It's time to self-discovery. Get out there, learn something new, and give it your 100%. What's the harm? What are you going to lose?
I completely agree. And when you said drum set, na, पहले तो बड़ा मसला होता था because the electronic drum sets were very so you see the biggest problem with drum kits are if parents don't like it is because it creates a lot of noise. So like the good thing is electronic drum sets are very readily available now. पहले तो पाकिस्तान में मिलते नहीं थे इतने आराम से, but now it's really readily available. And पहले तो Roland और बड़े अच्छी companies के मिलते थे. अब like budget companies भी करती हैं, like Alexis है, Alice's है, पता नहीं, I don't remember the company's name, but they sell the whole virtual drum kit for like what, 50k, 45, 50k,
really?
60k. And that's not bad because that's considering this, and you can put on your headphones and it makes no noise whatsoever, apart from वो जैसे कि simple pen hit करता है ना टेबल पे, इतनी आवाज आती है, but it's all sensor based. So if somebody is interested in drum kit, like I know it's a little steep फिर भी, but it's a good investment because you're going to have it. You can connect it to your computer as well. आप उस पे पूरी recording कर सकते हो. If your other friends are also like playing other instruments, they can send you a track, drum over it, send it back. Somebody can sing over it. Somebody can add bass to it, and so on and so forth. So,
I think I might just pick one. Yeah, damn, that's pretty reasonable.
I'll even give you the website where it's available. I was really surprised to know that they're still delivering in these days, and they have a couple. And it ranges from like 50,000 to start, because I think the basic one starts with $350, $300, and it goes up to like way upper. But you don't need that, na, because आपको तो खुद ही practice करनी है. And if you become really good at it, then you should get a better one.
Yeah.
Like that should be a motivation. कि यार अगर I get good better, then I'll get a better one.
And you'll know when you should upgrade. So
मतलब मेरा एक सुले के बंदा अपने आप से कभी झूठ ना बोले. You should never lie to yourself. You should be अपने आप से clear रखो, तो you'll know कि यार I'm becoming better, or I'm not putting in the effort and all that stuff.
I think this is actually a really good conversation, Qazi. This is really good because I've noticed. So the past few episodes were very particular about what's happening, what's going to happen with Cedar as well. But I think this is it's a good conversation, especially for the kids to hear in about. Let's say you guys are human, and just like everyone else, there's these trials, there's these tribulations which you go through. But at the end of the day, you guys are all in it together.
In it together.
Yeah.
In it to win it.
In it to win it, yeah. That's minute to win it, no?
That was the show.
Yeah. And we're all in this together is another High School Musical reference, so don't judge me, all those listening.
अभी बस वैसे बहुत सारा time है, there's no new content outside, so we'll
you got to go back to High School Musical then,
पुरानी movies देख रहे हैं.
Yeah. Yeah, so by the way, Last Dance. You should be watching Last Dance, man, on Netflix.
Last Dance, I haven't. Is that a high school movie?
No. No. Last Dance is about Michael Jordan's last season with the Bulls.
Oh.
It's the entire docu-series. So for that 97-98 season, they gave ESPN unprecedented access. And that footage was with Michael Jordan till 2016. He only had the rights on them. And in 2016, he gave the green light. And they also released this earlier. This was supposed to be released towards the end of 2020, but because of the lockdown and stuff,
because there's no content out there anyway. They know they're gonna create a bigger impact if they do it right now.
Yeah, but you should see
It's
it.
actually funny that you mentioned Michael Jordan because like most of these professional athletes, right? They make a lot of money and they do very well when they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan is one of, and when actually when they retire, it's when things start going downhill.
Yeah.
Jordan is one of those जिसने maybe इतना खेलते हुए नहीं कमाया होगा, but after he retired, he did so much like in terms of business. I think he did a joint venture with Nike, जो Air Jordans उसके पहले से चल रहे हैं. Then he did so much else, and I think he's one of the most richest.
Fun fact about the Air Jordans, by the way, he signed on as a rookie with Nike, and at that time the deal was that professional athletes, like pro athletes who are in the third, fourth year, would get like $150,000 deals, right, with Nike. His agent said Michael's not going to sign on for anything shy of $200,000. And he's in his rookie.
But I also believe he got options, no? He got stock options as well later.
I'm not too sure about the economics of all of it, but like he from day one, like he was that rookie who was positioned to dominate the league and then dominate. Like
he was not just sports smart; he was actually generally smart as well. Like he would know what are the right deals, what are not the right deals. That's why he like uski life ke bare mein padhna and his biography is really good because it's not just about playing basketball. It was much more than that. He was a smart guy. He was still a smart dude. And same goes for Jerry Seinfeld, the guy who made the show Seinfeld. He also did like 3-4 things in his life. Did a few stand-ups, did that show, and just did one movie. And he is, I think, the second richest guy, because he didn't like the fame didn't get to him. And same goes to Jordan. Like it didn't get to him. He put his head to work and बोला कि यार अगर पैसे बना लिए इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि पागल हो जाओ. Like we have to. So that's very commendable, now, because that's a good trait to have.
Yeah, and I think that, I personally get a lot of inspiration from these people. I'm all about those rich people quotes, you know. So like Steve Jobs' quotes, I get Michael Jordan quotes, I'm all about that. I'm very baseless in that regard, but lots of inspiration, man. But do check it out. Cool. Qazi, thank you so much for your time, man. I think this was a great episode.
You're welcome, man.
For all those listening,
for having me.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Just like the old days, man. I love doing this also because it's like, you know, the dream team is coming back.
There's just a mic now and it's being recorded.
Exactly. Literally, baat yahi hoti thi. And I think we've just grown older. You were my age when Cedar started, now I'm your age when Cedar started. So quite literally.
Maybe it's age ka koi game hai.
Age ka game hai. You cross 25, then you're like, okay, now you can talk to us. So, guys, that was Ali Qazi, the Chief Operating Officer at Cedar College. If you have any questions whatsoever for our next guest, feel free to email us with a voice recording of your question at asad.hashamali@cedar.edu.pk. This episode was brought to you by BackSpace. This is In the Times with Cedar College, hosted by myself, Asad Hashamali. See you guys next Thursday on Facebook, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're everywhere. So stay tuned, guys. Till the next one, bye-bye.